I'm Zoe Galvez.
And I'm Betsy Crouch.
And we're ImprovHQ.
And we help leaders and organizations tap into their superpowers for resilience, adaptability, and influence using the principles of improv.
So at this point, you're probably wondering, well, why improv? Isn't improv just winging it? Well, certainly when it comes to today's greatest challenges, we're not expecting you to just wing it. Actually, improv is more than just randomly making stuff up. There's actually rigorous training that goes on behind the scenes. So today, we're going to train like improvisers. We like to call improv training for the unexpected. It's training for those moments where someone or something throws you a curveball and you have to think on your feet and deliver with confidence. How often does that happen for you? Right. Improv is everywhere. You're already doing it every single day. Now, training for the unexpected is training to be agile, adaptable, and resilient in today's ever-changing world. Think about it. The skills that improvisers use on stage, it's the same set of skills, an operating system that any group can use to work better together, especially when you're under pressure.
The principles that we're going to cover today are applicable to any situation that requires exceptional collaboration and innovation. And for that reason, improv is taught in many top business schools, schools like Stanford, MIT, NYU, Columbia, and many, many more. And it's also why executives and teams bring us in to provide executive coaching, team trainings, and also interactive keynotes to support effective communication, exceptional collaboration, and engaged cultures. And as Zeev mentioned, our clients include Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, and many others. And these principles help them become more adaptable and innovative, and also, importantly, to amplify their unique strengths by tapping into their superhero powers.
So let me ask you, anybody out there wear their superhero cape when they were a kid? Do we have any superheroes out there? Yeah, I'm seeing a few hands out there. Oh, yes, yes, and one hand nice and high.
Are you wearing it right now? The hand went out fast.
I believe that Wonder Women are here with capes outside.
Yeah, the Wonder Women are here. The Wonder Women are here.
I think we're going to bring out your inner superhero during this session, your inner child. You know, when we were kids, we weren't afraid to put on our capes. Maybe you have a kid at home right now that wraps a towel around their neck and flies around the house. There's no fear of failure there. Improvisers deal with failure all of the time. So we're going to take a look at failure during this workshop. We want you to put on your superhero cape with pride again. I know that my husband, when he was a kid, he used to beg his mom to wear his Superman costume all the time. He wanted to wear it to school and to karate class, to church, and he even begged her to wear it to his first communion. There he is right there.
Now, by the time we get to about 3rd or 4th grade, we don't see as many Superman capes at school, do we? Sometimes we start off with a lot of enthusiasm, and we experience setbacks, and then we lose steam. We know that that's not you. That's not this community. Benjamin Barber, the sociologist, once said, "I don't divide the world between the successes and the failures. I divide the world between the learners and the non-learners." You're the learners. You're the innovators, the leaders, our superheroes. And we need you. We believe in you. Now, we also know that the work you do is challenging. And to some of you, that may sound like an understatement. Yet, when we tap into these powers, we're able to dig to a deeper place of connection, resilience, receptivity, and move forward with confidence. So we're going to challenge you today, because every day you're tapping into your courage to do the work that you do. And so we challenge you to train like improvisers and continue to cultivate your inner superhero for those moments when you do have a setback, you can move forward with courage.
You know what? Instead of talking about it, let's just go ahead and put it into practice.
Let's do it.
Okay? We're going to have everyone stand up. We're going to train for the unexpected now. Go ahead and put your phones down. We're going to go into the power of presence, because improv requires us to be 100% present. We can't have our phones and computers and improv on stage. We have to show up with 100% of ourselves. So we're going to practice the art of presence now. We're going to start with the circus bow. It looks like this. I failed! Yes, we get on stage and fail all the time. So you're going to practice training like the improviser that has compassion for their imperfections when you put yourself out there. okay? So you're gonna put your hands in the air, smile, and announce to the world on the count of 3. We're gonna say it together, nice and loud. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I failed. Look someone in the eye and try it. 1, 2, 3. I failed. How does that feel?
Yes. Good.
Pretty liberating. It is liberating. It's also counterintuitive for some. We have a shortcut. It looks like this. Woohoo! Let's all try that. 1, 2, 3. Woohoo! A little bit louder. 1, 2, 3. Woohoo! Feel free to woohoo anytime during this workshop. In fact, let's put it into practice right now. You're going to shake your right hand. Then you're going to shake your left foot. Then just your left hand. Then just your right foot. We're going to do that in 8. Then we'll do it in 4. Then we're going to do it in 2. Then we're going to do it in 1. Some of you are looking confused. That's exactly where I want you to be, in that state of learning, that state of imbalance, where you might make a mistake. And you'll use your tools, your new tools for resilience, if you make a mistake. You can either say, I failed, or woohoo, at any point. Now the 1, we're gonna repeat it, looks like this. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Little Beyonce, everybody. Somebody already failed.
Just watching it.
So let's start with our right hand and count with me. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now in 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Woohoo! Go ahead and grab a seat. I think we have some Beyonce backup dancers out there, I would say.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Go ahead and grab a seat. So we're in the power of presence.
Yes. Use the woohoo anytime you experience a mistake or a failure. Anytime throughout the rest of the day, bring it back to your teams. If you're in a very important meeting, you might want to woohoo inside your head. And this brings us to the next principle, which is resilient response. As improvisers, not every scene is perfect in front of an audience, and we need to build resilience. Without mistakes, we can't have miracles. We wouldn't have potato chips, chocolate chip cookies, penicillin, Slinky, me. Okay, these are all happy accidents, okay? Happy accidents. But in all seriousness, we have hundreds of exercises that leverage the neuroplasticity of our brain. And in this case, we're rewiring our brains to celebrate taking risks as an opportunity for learning and discovering something new. Of course, in the process, we want to commit to excellence, always. And we know that sometimes we make a mistake.
Yeah. So improv teaches us to be in relationship with our fear and to show up in spite of our own fear. Now, sometimes that villain shows up in the guise of your inner critic or your inner perfectionist or your inner control freak. So improv gives us that opportunity to play with our inner villain and eventually to befriend them. Because the resilient response factor is there with us, and it reminds us to have compassion for ourselves, because we might be superheroes, but we're also human.
When we eliminate the need to be perfect, we overcome our fear and we step into our power. We become curious about our failures and mistakes and experience what Carol Dweck describes as a growth mindset, where we can see failure and mistakes as an opportunity to learn. Practicing resilient response allows us to listen for the lessons underneath the mistake. And in that process, when we experience, in improv, listening is essential. We need to listen to our gut. We need to listen to our partner's contribution. And sometimes when we make a mistake, we go into judgment of others or ourselves or blame. And when we really slow down to listen, we're able to come to solutions together, and we call it intentional listening.
So intentional listening is actually the intent to elongate that moment of curiosity before we jump in. So how many of you out there start to think about what you're going to say next while your partner is speaking? Yeah, some of you think ahead. What about interrupters? I know I'm an interrupter. Anybody out there an interrupter? What about multitaskers? I think a lot of you should be raising your hand, because many of us in our culture now are multitaskers. We almost have to be. And yet improv asks us to slow down, be present, and really elongate that moment of curiosity. We have to listen to one another if we want to innovate together.
So far, we've covered power of presence, resilient response, and intentional listening. So let's put all three of those together.
Great. Can we have a topic, please, or a word?
Immigration.
Immigration is what I heard nice and loud over here.
Okay.
Okay. Immigration. Well, I'm an immigrant. Well, here's the thing. My parents were immigrants, and they came to this country and had me. My dad is from Cuba, and my mom is from Colombia. I speak Spanish. It was my primero lenguaje. Yes. And I went to school, and that's where I learned English. And this country has provided my family with incredible opportunities. For example, I was a Girl Scout. I was a valedictorian. And I was an entrepreneur. I started my own business in this country. You may have heard of it. It's called ImprovHQ. Yes, it's called ImprovHQ. That's actually a true story about me, Zoe. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
So what are we doing there? We're being present with one another. We're listening to each other. We're finding ways to truly connect. How often do you listen like that? How often are you coming into a meeting with your computer open or on your phone or texting someone? So we challenge you to be more present, to listen. And of course, if you make a mistake, to have a resilient response.
The other principle that helped us do that is open to yes.
So a troupe of improvisers can start a scene in minutes simply because they've agreed to say yes. Yes and is the foundation of all improv. It creates an environment where innovation can thrive because people feel safe sharing their ideas. Now, of course, we have to say no in work and life, but is it a habitual no? Is it a no out of fear? Is it an automatic no? Many times we say no without allowing an idea to live and breathe in the room, even if it's just for 2 minutes. If you say yes, you're allowing creativity to flow, and you might even discover something that you didn't know existed. Yes opens up conversations, it opens up possibilities, and it validates your team members' contribution, their experience. That brings us to the next principle.
Yes. How many of you have had the experience of sharing an idea and immediately was shot down? Probably everybody.
Probably
right?
everyone in this room, yes.
And we're not very willing to share another idea sometimes after that. And so the next principle, being open to yes, is the platform for the willingness to voice our ideas. You have amazing ideas and incredible vision, and we want to encourage you to continue to allow your voices to be heard, even when it gets hard, even in the face of no. And as leaders, we also want to thank you for creating space and carrying forward others' voices yearning to be heard. And this brings us to our last principle, which is make your teammate the hero.
So improv requires generosity and reciprocity. We strive to create that collaborative environment instead of a competitive one. So we look for ways to set each other up for success. That means we're paying attention to one another, building off of each other's ideas, and working together creatively within constraints. It's true collaboration. It's different than stand-up comedy. In stand-up comedy, I would be up here alone, delivering memorized jokes. Improv is a team sport and a catalyst for powerful and dynamic collaboration. So we're gonna launch into a collaboration right now. You're gonna team up with one other person. And then once you team up with that person, you're gonna hear for the bell, listen for the bell, because we're gonna give you the next bit of direction. So go ahead and stand up and find a partner in 5 seconds. Ready? 5,
4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Yeah.
All right, so hopefully you have one person that you've teamed up with, and if you don't have a partner, raise your hand so that someone can come partner with you. So look around for each other, raise your hands nice and high, and look around and find that person with their hand raised so that you have a partner. Okay. We're gonna demonstrate how this is gonna work. From time to time, you'll hear the bell and we'll add more direction. Okay, so Betsy, we're gonna launch into a brain fry exercise, okay? Dr. Dan Siegel, pioneer of interpersonal neurobiology, calls improv getting ourselves into a state of receptivity, really connecting with our partners. So I'm gonna say 1, you're gonna say 2, and then I'll say 3, and then you'll start when we start again, okay? 1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3.
You're gonna try this with your partner. Ready? Go.
Yeah.
How's that going so far? So far, so good? Okay, we're gonna make it a little bit harder. We're gonna make it a little bit harder because as improvisers, every time we master an exercise, we make it a little bit harder, so we're always in that state of learning. The improviser's mindset is about staying grounded in the midst of chaos, even though there's a lot of things coming at you. So we purposely put ourselves under pressure so that we learn how to breathe and relax under those conditions instead of going into fight, flight, or freeze mode.
Faint. That's
Or
another
faint
option
mode,
too.
yes. So what we're gonna do is we are going to replace the 1 with a clap. It looks like this.
2,
3, 2,
3, 2,
3, 2,
3.
You try.
I'm hearing
I'm hearing more woohoos.
I'm hearing some woohoos. Let's hear a big woohoo. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Woo!
All right, well, let me tell you, according to Kristen Neff's research, self-compassion triggers the hormone oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone, so that we feel increased feelings of trust, calm, and safety. This exercise is great for building connections and building relationships.
Hey, let's add
Let's
a
make it
snap.
harder.
Let's add a snap
All right.
on the 2.
All right, ready?
Okay, it looks
We'll
like
demonstrate.
this. Here it 3,
3,
3.
3.
You try.
it.
Give yourselves a hand. Woo!
They can stay standing.
Go ahead and say thank you to your partner and grab your seat.
I was going to say they can stay standing.
Go, go.
Yeah. Shall we review?
Notice how the energy has changed in the room, right? We've gotten ourselves into a state of receptivity.
Yes. Let's review our principles. The
All
first
right.
principle is
Power of presence,
resilient response,
intentional listening,
open to yes,
voice your ideas,
and make your teammate the hero.
and that spells improv.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Integrating these principles, you will help to unleash your unique set of strengths, your hero quality, your HQ. Now, we have one very final thing that we want to do with you that's very brief. And before we go into that, we want you to use these exercises with your teams. We want you to start using them right away, and we have hundreds of exercises. So what we did was we put together a code. So if you text ImprovHQ to 44222, you will get an email right away with video trainings and exercises that you can use with your team right away. We also have a book coming out later this year called The Unscripted Leader.
So let's launch into our very last exercise. You're going to stand up one more time, put those phones down. We're going to go into what Amy Cuddy describes as the hero pose. Okay? So you're going to put your hands on your hips. You're going to have good posture. Imagine that your superhero cape is flying in the wind. You can always get one from Wonder Woman later. And, oh yes, music, beautiful. This is good.
Nice.
You're gonna hold this for 20 seconds. We do this before we get on the stage to lower our cortisol levels, right?
Yes.
So again, you're building your resilience.
And ask yourself, how has failure been my teacher?
And ask yourself, how can I bring out the hero in others?
How can I feel bigger and better in the future to learn more and have an even greater impact?
Dare to be an unscripted leader.
And use improv to supercharge collaboration, communication, and innovation.
I'm Zoe Galvez.
And I'm Betsy Crow.
And we're Improv HQ. Give yourselves a hand.